Welcome back and welcome to our weekly edition of All Things Women in Sports. Today we're going to start with the WNBA because the Indiana Fever are playing later tonight. But during their last game, their win over the Chicago Sky on Saturday, Kelsey Mitchell became the W's leading scorer for the season so far. Mitchell now has 710 points this season. That is ahead of MVP favorite Nafizia Collier and three-time MVP Asia Wilson. So we'll see how much she can add during tonight's home game against Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. But there are two players who will not be on the floor for the Fever tonight or for the rest of the season. On Thursday, on the road in Phoenix, both veteran guard Sydney Colson and breakout star of the Fever's season this year, Ari McDonald, were injured. Colson tore the ACL in her left knee, while McDonald broke a bone in her right foot. But after the Fever's win against Chicago, the team remarked on how resilient they all are and how they want to win for all of their injured teammates. But because the Fever now have 0 healthy guards, they were able to sign veteran guard Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract. She spent the first part of this season with the Los Angeles Sparks, where she averaged nearly 10 points and 3.5 assists per game. Tonight will be her first opportunity to play for Indiana. And with the playoffs starting next month, let's look at the latest standings. As a reminder, the top 8 of the W's 13 teams will head on to postseason play. Minnesota still standing strong in the #1 spot, but there was a lot of shuffling in the middle of the pack this weekend, with teams like LA and Las Vegas on winning streaks, while the Storm have dipped a few spots. Turning now to tennis, last week was the dramatic finish to the 2025 Canadian Open. The winner made history, and we'll get to her in a second. But first, it was oh so close for Naomi Osaka. She ended up finishing second in the Canadian Open, but this was her first WTA championship match in more than 3 years. That's from before she gave birth to her daughter. Despite the loss, even getting to the finals was a huge moment for the 4-time Grand Slam champion Osaka. But victory in Montreal would go to the 18-year-old phenom Vicky Mboko. To get this win, the Canadian native had to defeat 4 Grand Slam champions, including Coco Gauff. She began this year ranked 333rd in the world and has now risen to 24th globally. And not only was this her first ever WTA win, but she got to do it in front of a home crowd. Elsewhere in tennis, today continued round 3 play of the Cincinnati Open. Already a slew of American players have been knocked out, but 2 have punched their tickets to the round of 16. Madison Keys right there and Coco Gauff both advancing. And we could add 1 more American to the round of 16 if Jessica Pegula can win her round tonight. That's estimated to start at 6 p.m. Central Time. And then starting next week, it'll be time for the final Grand Slam of the year, the U.S. Open. This year, the Open is upping its overall prize purse by 20% to $90 million across all competitions. Now, for some context, last year's total U.S. Open purse was $75 million. So this pay bump makes the U.S. Open the highest paying tournament in tennis history. Both the men's and women's singles champions will get a record $5 million each. The runner-ups will get $2.5 million each. In soccer, FIFA has a brand new set of rankings out, and the U.S. has dropped from the world #1 spot. Now it's Spain on top, with about 1.5 points more than the Americans. Germany and Brazil also falling, while Sweden, England, and France all climbed the rankings. But interestingly, Spain got to the top spot despite losing to England in penalty shootouts in the Women's Euro final a few weeks ago. But it is because of that loss that Spain fired head coach Montse Tomé yesterday. She was the first woman to ever lead the Spanish national team, and during her 2-year tenure, Spain was the favorite to win both the 2024 Olympics and last month's European Championship. But of course, the team fell short in both competitions. Finally tonight, a pro volleyball shakeup. It has been announced the Pro Volleyball Federation, which has 2 seasons under its belt, will now join forces with the incoming Major League Volleyball. The new United League will launch next year, and it's valued at more than $325 million. It's got investors from the NBA, MLS, and 3-time Olympic beach volleyball gold medalist Kerry Walsh Jennings. It'll be known as Major League Volleyball, and it's set to have 10 teams for next year's inaugural season. And of course, we'll bring you all the action right here on Women in Sports. But that'll do it for this week's edition.